Hello everyone, MSRNDA 2007 here, and here in Season 2, Episode 3 of Radios in Depth, I am going to be reviewing the Midland HH54 as requested by Jake's Weather Channel / Randall County EAS. So with that being said, here we go with the review. So like I usually do, before I get into any of the features and specifications, I am going to be giving a general overview of the radio. So starting here at the front, on top we have the tricolor LED, which glows yellow for advisories and statements and tests, and glows orange for watches, and red for warnings and emergencies. Well, except 911 telephone outage emergency. For 911 telephone outage emergency, it glows yellow. Now, in most videos, not just mine, but quite a few people's videos, it looks like this glows green whenever there's an advisory, statement, or test. It looks like it glows green, but in reality, it actually is yellow. Well, it glows yellow for advisory statements and tests. So yeah, I don't know why it looks green on camera, but in reality it is yellow. Next we have the screen, and below that we have the No Weather Radio logo, Public Alert logo, the arrows, Travel and Home Mode button, Select button, Menu button, and the speaker. On the left side we have the headphone out, so you can be able to plug this into a set of computer speakers or an aux port like on the 12519. And then below that we have the DC 9V in, which this takes the same plug as the WR100 does. So yeah. And then on the right side, we have the volume up and down. On the top, we have the button used to turn on and off the broadcast, and to snooze the alarm, and then the on-off button for turning on and off No Weather Radio. And then also we have the antenna, which says Midland on it. On the bottom, we have these two things here which are meant to be used to set the radio, like this. Then on the back we have two screw holes here and here, which on most HH54s these screw holes are covered by rubber. Well, downside there's a little tiny piece of rubber covering the screws. And then here is where the belt clip would go. I do have the belt clip, I just don't keep it on it all the time. Then we have the model number sticker, which of course contains the model number, the FCC thing that we see on a lot of radios, and the serial number. Then we have the battery compartment, which I'll get into that later. And then here's the two places where the battery would be charged if it were to be in a charging cradle. And yeah. So the first thing I'm going to get into will be the siren. So with that being said, here we go with that. So the siren on the Midland HH54. Now, as most of you are probably aware of, the siren kind of sounds similar to the siren on the WR100 and WR300. With that being said, that's WR300s that are version 5 and below. Oops. So, yeah, like I said, as most of you are probably aware, the siren on here sounds quite similar to the siren on the WR100 and WR300s that are version 5 and below. Although the siren on here is quite fast, just like the siren on the WR120 and the version 8 WR300 and the WR400. So yeah, so with that being said, here we go with the test of the siren. Now I am going to put my hand over the speaker since my parents are home and I don't want them complaining. So yeah, with that being said, here we go. So yeah, the siren on this is quite loud. I don't think it's as loud as the siren on the WR120, but still is quite loud, although it's supposed to be because it's supposed to alert you to severe weather. So yeah. So the next thing I'm going to get into will be the button beeps. So with that being said, here we go with that. So the button beeps on the Midland HH54. Now, keep in mind, this is a version 16 HH54. The version 15s and version 14s have different sounding button beeps, but the button beeps here on the version 16 sound similar to the button beeps on the WR100 and WR300. Although it's kind of different. So, yeah. You do have the option of disabling button beeps if you want to, which most people do, because most people don't like the button beeps on the version 16, although I do quite like the button beeps here on the version 16. I don't know why most people don't like them, but personally, I do, so I keep them on. So, yeah. So, valid, invalid. So, yeah. So, the next thing I'm going to get into will be... What should I do next? I think I'll do the antenna. So, with that being said, here we go with that. So, the antenna on the Midland HH54. So, as you can see here, it's quite small, although with it being a handheld radio, it's supposed to be small. It's got a nice rubber thing here. And then under this rubber coating is a spring. So, yeah. The antenna is quite durable and quite nice. So, yeah. So, the next thing I'm going to get into will be the reception. So, with that being said, here we go with that. So, the reception on the Midland HH54. The reception is pretty good. So, channel.
Observations from around the region. Temperatures were...
I think that's bleed through.
At 8 p.m. in Oklahoma.
Yeah, bleed through on channel 2. Channel 3, if I get anything, it'll probably be KJY94 in Chickasha. So, getting a little bit of KJY94. Channel 4, I'm probably not going to get anything this early in the evening. So, yeah. But I'm kind of getting something.
Haze.
What? I almost didn't. Probably WXL48 in Enid. Okay. Let's see if I can get anything. Channel 5. WNG654 in Stillwater. Channel 6. If I were to get anything, it would probably be WXK87 in Clinton. KJ195 in Milwaukee. So, yeah. So now I'm going to do the outdoor reception. So, yeah. So, here is the outdoor reception. Okay, so I just went outside and the neighbor is in their backyard working. And I don't want to be a weirdo, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to demonstrate the outdoor reception. But trust me, it's very good. So, yeah. So the next thing I'm going to get into will be the travel and home mode. So that being said, here we go with that. So the travel and home mode on the Midland HH54. So, say you're traveling or something, and you're going across the state or something, or whatever. What you can do is press and hold the TR/HM button, and it'll search for the best channel. So, see here, search. Oh, you didn't really see that. So, channel 7, KJ195 in Milwaukee. Search 1, WXK85. So, yeah. So, yeah, the travel and home mode is quite convenient. So, yeah, like I said, if you're going across the state or something, and you know you're going to be encountering multiple stations, then I recommend turning on the travel mode. I was going to say travel home mode, but the travel mode, so that you can be able to pick up the best station. So, yeah. Personally, I haven't used it that much, but from my understanding, it works pretty good. Although, you have to have perfect reception. So, yeah, and also, well, let me see.
Central Daylight Time. From the Norman Forecast Office, here is the forecast for Oklahoma City and surrounding area. Rest of tonight, clear, haze. The northern, western, central, and southern Oklahoma and western North Texas. Tuesday, sunny, haze.
Oh, it does go back to whatever station you had.
Winds up to 10 miles an hour. Tuesday night.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering if you were to switch it to home mode when it was on a different station than your normal one, or the one you have programmed in, if it would change the station that's programmed in or not. And I guess it doesn't. So, yeah. So, the next thing I am going to demonstrate on here will be the alarm clock function. So, with that being said, here we go with that. So that worked pretty good. And also something I did discover is that when you set the alarm, even if you unplug it and stuff and do a factory reset and everything, it actually saves whatever you have programmed in for the alarm, even if you do a factory reset, which is kind of cool. And I know this because back in June, when I went with my grandfather on a business trip, we went up to Tulsa for a business trip. I actually had to use the alarm clock function on here because the hotel we were staying in, I don't know what was going on, but for some reason they weren't doing wake-up calls. Well, they were, but it was just extremely late. So, yeah, what I decided to do was use the alarm clock function on here to wake us up. And there was one day where it woke us up 10 minutes before we got the wake-up call. So, yeah. And I remember I set it for 7 a.m. So, yeah. And as most of you know, the default for the alarm whenever you power on a radio for the first time and stuff, it's usually set as 6 a.m. So the fact that it still had 7 a.m. in programming, since that's the last time, or that's the time that I set it to back in June, is amazing. So, yeah. And I've done a factory reset on this radio since then. So, yeah. Now, you may be wondering why the camera's shaking. Well, I'm using my phone to record because the battery on my camera died. So, unfortunately, I'm having to use my phone, but that's not that big of a deal. So, yeah. So, with that being said, the next thing I'm going to demonstrate is the headphone jack. So, with that being said, here we go with that. So, the headphone jack on the Midland HH54. So what I'm going to do is I am going to... Is that it? That's not it. Oh, yeah, it is. I'm going to get the aux cord I have plugged into the aux in on the 12519. Take off the lightning adapter. I'm going to plug in the cable into the headphone out on the HH54. And then go ahead and enable aux on the 12519. So why is it not working? Okay, hold on 1 second. Grab the cable. I don't know why it's not wanting to work. Well, that's a fail.
And more details at weather.com.
In that case, let me try my computer speakers. Then, which cable is it? That one. I have tons of cables behind my monitor. I have a VGA cable and also the power cord for the monitor itself. So, yeah, go ahead and set the camera here. I'm using my camera tripod to hold up my phone, but go ahead and plug in cable for my computer speakers, plug it into the headphone out, and here we go.
For 80s, light and variable winds. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Lows for 60.
Fun beats and everything come through. So, yeah. So it works pretty well. Now, of course, it's not going to be in stereo. But, I mean, really, do you really need stereo on a weather radio? So, yeah. So, the next thing I'm going to get into will be speaker quality. I've got to do that. So, yeah, so the next thing is going to be speaker quality. So, speaker quality on the Midland HH54.
The temperature was 80 degrees, 2.56, and the relative humidity 43%. The wind was northeast at 12 miles an hour. The pressure was 30.06 inches and at north.
Okay. How's it doing this? Maybe it needs to be plugged in or something, I don't know.
It was partly sunny. It was cloudy at Tulsa and Dallas, Fort Worth.
Time is it? 8:49. Can wait till 8:50. Okay, really?
Of heat stress next weekend.
Why are you showing signal loss?
Follow our weather forecast office on Twitter and Facebook. At Oklahoma. At 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
Why is the 12:519 saying signal loss? Come on, 8:50. There we are.
Winds around 10 miles an hour until midnight, becoming light and variable. Tuesday, sunny.
So yeah,
Haze.
speaker quality is pretty good. I guess I'm tethered to the charger now. You know, I'm just gonna let this down 8:51. It's 1 minute ahead. So yeah. So the next thing I'm going to get into will be build quality. So with that being said, here we go with that. So build quality on the Midland HH54. Now you may notice that the time is different. This is because I'm re-filming this because I didn't like how the recording I did the other night turned out. So, yeah. Anyways, so build quality. Overall, the Midland HH54 is built quite well. The antenna is quite durable, and so is the hand strap. Now, the belt clip is a different story. The belt clip is quite cheap, and it can easily break. Now, luckily, if you do break your belt clip, you can get another one from Midland's website for $2, minus shipping and tax. I'm not sure how much tax and shipping will be, because that varies by each state. Although some states don't charge tax for items purchased online, but most states do. I know here in Oklahoma, they do charge tax for stuff online, or stuff purchased online. So, yeah. Anyways, and also the rubber. Now, if you watch Nicholas, also known as ThunderBuddy01, if you watch his videos, then you'll know that on one of his HH54s, he completely took off the rubber on it because it was deteriorating and he didn't like it, so therefore he just completely removed the rubber. And in fact, that's why Midland discontinued the HH54s and EH55s, was because of the rubber coating. That's a common thing, not only with the version 16, but also the version 15 and version 14. So, yeah. Now, I'm not sure how the rubber is on the Midland HH55. Yes, you heard me correct. Midland HH55. Not the EH55, but the HH55. There is such thing as a Midland HH55. Let me pull this up real quick. I would do it on my laptop, but it would be easier to show this on my phone. Let's see here. Important. Midland radio support. Now I'm going to have to, let me screenshot this real quick so that there's nothing that needs to be covered up. Okay, let's. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to cover stuff up that doesn't need to be seen. Okay. Save 2 photos, then let me get the stock photo. So yeah, there is such thing as a Midland HH55. Here it is. That is the Midland HH55. The overall design looks like the design of the HH54, except it has a bigger screen with a lot more information and a lot more icons. And also, the biggest difference is that this one has a temperature sensor in it. And you can see the hole down there, where I'm assuming the temperature sensor is, and also the faceplate's yellow. So, yeah. Now you may not think that that's a real product, but in fact, it was. So when I saw this, I emailed Midland Radio Support, and here's the response I got. Now keep in mind, this is a photo. This isn't the actual email. I had to cover up some information that didn't need to be seen. In fact, that's what was wrong with the recording I did the other night, and why I'm recording it was some information that didn't need to be seen was exposed. So yeah, as you can see here, yes, this is a discontinued model. The HH55 and HH54 are the same radio, with the exception of the color. So, yeah. And then best regards, Andrea. So, yeah. So that's the email I got from Andrea at Midland Radio Support. So, yeah. Yeah, and don't mind this and this. I'm just trying to cover up my name, Now, people who are in my Discord server know my first and last name, but for right now, I just want to keep it private. Well, not exactly private, but I only want people on Discord to know my first and last name. I don't want to release on YouTube yet. And then also, the email definitely needs to be covered up, because that email that I emailed them from, that's my personal email that I have a bunch of things tied to. Quite a few things like emails from Midland and Eton and stuff, but also there's a lot of personal stuff and important information that's tied to that email. So, yeah. So that's why I covered that stuff up. My name, I would like to try and keep it private for right at this point in time. In the future, I'll probably reveal my first and last name here on YouTube. But the email, no one needs to know the email, because that email has a bunch of important things tied to it. So, yeah. Anyways, so the next thing I'm going to get into will be the ways of powering the HH54. So, with that being said, here we go with that. So, the ways of powering the Midland HH54. So, the primary way of powering it is by a Midland HH54 battery like I have here. This isn't a Midland one, this is a generic one. Most of the original Midland rechargeable batteries are dead. So this is the one I got on Amazon for $9. Plus free shipping because Prime. In fact, I actually got this during Prime Day. So, yeah. But you can also use 3 AA batteries. In fact, that's what I was using. Because this is actually a HH54 and HH54 VP. In general, I just call these HH54s. I don't call them HH54 VP and HH54 VP2. Because they're the same. The only difference between the VP and VP2 is that the VP only includes the radio, the belt clip, and the power adapter, while the VP2 includes the radio, belt clip, power adapter, charging cradle, and rechargeable battery. But overall, they're still the same radio. So, yeah. And then the secondary way of powering it is via the 9-volt DC in. Or DC 9-volt in. As you can see there. And this is center positive. You can use the same power adapter you use with a WR100. So, yeah. And you can have this thing plugged in even if you're using alkaline batteries. I don't recommend it, but supposedly you still can. At least Midland says you can. Whether that's entirely true or not, that I don't know. Because whenever, before I got the rechargeable battery, I was just keeping it plugged in all the time without batteries. And then when I need to take it with me, I just put in AA batteries. So, yeah. Anyways, so now to get into the final thoughts. So with that being said, here we go with that. So the final thoughts on the Midland HH54. In particular, the version 16. It's a really good radio. Do I recommend you get your first ever weather radio? Absolutely. Because it has a decent alert tone. It is quite loud, but it's supposed to be loud because it needs to be able to alert you to severe weather. It has a hand strap, so you can be able to hold it like this if you want to. Although quite a few other radios have this, but this is the only one I can actually fit my hand into. Kind of. So, yeah, it has a hand strap. It's quite durable. You can get rechargeable batteries for them. So, and the battery life on them is quite long. I had this thing off the charger for 2 days straight, and it took 2 days to drain. From full charge to it doing what it did earlier, 2 days. So, yeah. So I'd say that's pretty good battery life. I'm not sure how long it'll last with alkalines. That I'm not entirely sure of. But as far as I know, it'll also last 2 days. It depends on what type of alkalines you're using. Whether you're using regular or something like Energizer rechargeables. Those aren't alkalines, but you do have to replace them. Or you're using... what's it called? Energizer Max or Duracell or whatever. It depends on what kind of batteries you're using, what brand, and what type. Well, no matter what type, but whether they're regular, rechargeable, high Radiovac, high energy, or Energizer Max that claim to have more battery power. So yeah. Reception on it's really good. Alarm clock function is phenomenal. It has great speaker quality. And yeah. Now, admittedly, they are starting to get expensive. The price for a HH54 used is anywhere from $20 to $40. For brand new ones, from anywhere from $40 to... I think I saw one for $50. And plus, unfortunately, most sellers charge shipping for them. I got this one in June of 2020 for $39.99 plus free shipping. So, yeah. So I paid a little more than I wanted to. But, hey, it's a good radio. So I can't complain. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a nice day.